Hello everyone and welcome back to our Tarot Masterclass series. So far we've explored the Fool, who taught us to embrace new beginnings, the Magician, who showed us how to turn ideas into reality, and the High Priestess, who reminded us to trust our own intuition. Today we're meeting the Empress, the card of abundance, creativity, nurturing, and incredible power of growth. The Empress reminds us that everything in nature has its season. Seeds don't become flowers overnight, and neither do our dreams. She teaches us to nurture what matters, trust the process, and allow life to unfold in its own time. So before we explore the meanings, take a moment to simply look at the card. What catches your eye first? Is it the lush landscape, the flowing river, or the crown of stars? You see, every detail has a story to tell. And let's begin. So first, impressions. Unlike the stillness of the High Priestess, the Empress feels warm, welcoming, and alive. She's surrounded by nature. Everything around her is flourishing. There's no sense of struggle here either. Instead, this card radiates comfort, creativity, and unconditional love. The Empress reminds us that true strength doesn't always look powerful. Sometimes strength looks like compassion, patience. It can look like creating a safe space where growth can happen. Crown of 12 stars. Resting upon her head is a crown of 12 stars. These stars represent the 12 zodiac signs and the 12 months of the year. They remind us that we are connected to the natural rhythms of life. There are seasons for planting, seasons for waiting, and seasons for harvesting. If things seem slow right now, the Empress encourages you to trust that growth is still happening beneath the surface. The flowing hair. Her long flowing hair symbolizes freedom, femininity, and her deep connection with nature. Nothing about the Empress feels forced. She flows with life rather than trying to control every outcome. This is a gentle reminder that sometimes life becomes easier when we stop resisting change and begin working with it. The heart-shaped shield. So beside her rests a heart-shaped shield displaying the symbol of Venus. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, creativity, and pleasure. This symbol reminds us to create a life that feels beautiful, not just one that looks successful. The Empress asks, what truly brings joy to your heart? The wheat field. Surrounding the Empress is a field of ripe golden wheat. Wheat has long symbolized abundance, nourishment, and reward. It represents the harvest that comes after patience and consistent care. Nothing grows overnight. The same is true of relationships, careers, healing, and personal growth. This card assures us that the effort that you are investing in today can become tomorrow's harvest. The forest. Behind the Empress stands a peaceful forest. Trees often symbolize stability, wisdom, and deep roots. They remind us that lasting growth begins with strong foundations. So whether you're building a relationship, learning tarot, or healing from the past, healthy roots create lasting results. The flowing river. Flowing through the landscape is a beautiful river. Water represents emotions, intuition, and the flow of life. The river reminds us to allow emotions to move through us instead of becoming trapped within us. Like water, healing happens when the energy is allowed to flow. Some people also say that the river is coming from the emperor and he is feeding the empress. So it's very much about a supportive type of energy. The cushions and throne. The empress sits comfortably upon soft cushions rather than a hard throne. And this reflects comfort, security, and emotional safety. The Empress teaches us that rest is productive. You don't have to earn your worth by constantly doing more. It's about self-care, and sometimes caring for yourself is the most important work you'll do all day. The upright meaning. So when the Empress appears upright, she often represents abundance in many forms. And this could show up in love, creativity, pregnancy or fertility, personal growth, financial stability, healing, compassion. The list literally goes on. Self-care, creating something meaningful. So the card encourages you to nurture the people, dreams, and goals that matter the most to you. What you care for has the potential to flourish into something amazing. The reversed meaning. So when reversed, the Empress may suggest that you've been giving so much to others that you've forgotten about yourself. Perhaps you're feeling emotionally drained, disconnected from your creativity, or struggling to receive the same care that you freely give away to everyone else. Sometimes this card asks us to pause and ask ourselves, when was the last time I nurtured myself? You cannot pour from an empty cup. The reverse Empress gently reminds us that self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. How the Empress appears in different readings. In love readings, the Empress is a beautiful card. She often represents deep affection, emotional security, healthy relationships, and love that continues to grow over time. For those hoping to start a family, she can sometimes point towards fertility or pregnancy, although this should always be interpreted along the surrounding cards and the context of the reading. In a career reading, the Empress often points towards creative success, business growth, financial abundance, and seeing your hard work begin to blossom. Spiritually, she reminds us to reconnect with nature, honor our intuition, and recognize that growth rarely happens through force. It happens through love, patience, and trust. So bringing it all together, when I see the Empress in a reading, I don't just see abundance. I see someone learning to believe they deserve abundance, someone creating a life that nourishes not only themselves, but the people around them. The Empress reminds us that kindness is never a weakness. Compassion is never wasted. And the seeds you plant today may become the greatest blessings of tomorrow. So, thank you so much for joining me for today's lesson on the Empress. I hope this has helped you see how every symbol on the card works together to tell a story of love, creativity, and abundance. In our next episode, we will explore the Emperor, discovering what he teaches us about structure, leadership, discipline, and building strong foundations. So until next time, take care of yourselves, trust your intuition, and remember, the Empress teaches us that the most beautiful things in life aren't rushed. They're nurtured, loved, and given the time they need to bloom. Lots of love and light, guys.